Hey everyone, Johnny here. Don't Speak News. News that we're not supposed to speak about, and we do have some of that on tap. But first, wow, wow, guys, this just came out this morning, or at least I just saw it this morning. I saw it over on God Soldiers channel on Telegram first. But more than 400 tremors followed a 5.2 magnitude quake that rattled Southern California. Then they explain to you why, what earthquakes are, main shocks and foreshocks and aftershocks and all that. So I'll put the link up if you'd like to read through all of that stuff. But I mean, 400 tremors, guys, of 1.0 in magnitude or above that have happened within 10 miles of the original epicenter of this earthquake from Tuesday evening. So yes, California's being shaken up, and you got to think the big one's coming soon. We're definitely in the time for it. That is for certain. Speaking of signs of the times, Israeli group practices red heifer ritual in front of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. So yes, they are getting ready for this red heifer ritual, guys, as a group of religious Israelis have been pictured practicing the ritual of the red heifer, which is meant to herald the building of a new Jewish temple on the site of the Al-Aqsa Mosque. According to Jewish tradition, the ashes of a perfectly red heifer cow are needed for the ritual purification that would allow a third temple to be built in Jerusalem. It's already been built. It's underground. It's the Temple of Hewn Stone. But anyway, that's for a different video. We've talked about that before. But that temple, say radical Jewish groups, must be constructed on the raised plateau in Jerusalem's Old City, known as the Temple Mount, where the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock shrine stand today. And so some believe that this will herald the arrival of the Messiah and possibly even the end of the world. Yes, that's what the Jews believe. Temple worshippers are now practicing the mitzvah, religious duty of the red cow, in front of the Temple Mount, which will enable the return of purity and the observance of all the temple mitzvahs. That's from journalist Yanan Magal on Tuesday, along with a picture of activists from the Temple Institute. So I'll leave the link up as always. You can read the details for yourself, but there it is. Another sign they're getting ready to build that third temple. And then, switching over to wars and rumors of wars, we have this. Moscow rushing air defenses to Iran in payback for America arming Ukraine. So yeah, you knew it was coming sometime, right? Payback to America for them arming Ukraine. Here it is. Here's part of it anyway. Russia has significantly stepped up its military cooperation with Iran amid the Islamic Republic's showdown with Israel. Many days have passed since Israel's assassination of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, and with the region still on edge awaiting a likely major Iranian response. The New York Times and others confirmed this week that Russia has begun delivering radars and air defense equipment, possibly including S-400 anti-air missile components to the Iranians. This can be seen as Moscow's payback for America arming Ukraine. Now, Russia is arming America's and Israel's chief enemy in the Middle East. While the Times report did not specify precisely what arms or defense equipment is being delivered, Iranian officials have long sought its S-400 Triumph air defense system. The Times did not report or did not say what equipment Iran had requested from Russia or what had been delivered. Iran already has some Russian-made S-300 air defense systems, though Moscow now has the more advanced S-400 and the S-500, from what I understand. So Moscow, or the Iranians, are reportedly pressuring Moscow to fulfill delivery of Su-35S jet fighters, which were previously pledged in a defense deal, given the regional temperatures heating up fast. Yeah, indeed it is. Moscow likely feels obliged, given the significant Iranian drone transfers it has received through the course of the Ukraine war. Iran has heavily aided Russian forces, and now Russia is quickly coming to Iran's assistance. I read another article this morning that talked about the fact that if Iran indeed does get these S-400s up and they get them up and running in time, that they will give Israel and their F-35s all kinds of problems because they can spot the F-35s. At least that's what I'm being told. So there we go. Moscow is paying America back for its assistance to Ukraine by assisting Iran. And also over on Vaccine Impact News, how a cybersecurity attack would cripple America after a catastrophic crowdsourced glitch. We got a preview of that here not too long ago after the recent Microsoft Windows failed update by CrowdStrike that crippled computers worldwide. Cybersecurity experts have been in high demand for journalists worldwide to report on just how serious and how likely it is that a cyber attack could cripple our society. Yes, we've become completely dependent on technology. Just look at the car dealerships here from a couple months ago, from back in June, when they had that ransomware attack. I mean, I don't know how many it was as a percentage in the United States, but there was quite a few dealerships that were affected by this because they've centralized all of this tech, right? So now it's easier than ever. You just have to break into one source, and then you can cripple a whole bunch of businesses or a whole bunch of government operators. I mean, it's incredible how dependent we've become, and we've got no redundant systems to back anything up anymore. So for these criminal elements who earn their living from cyber attacks and ransomware, this must be cyber heaven for them because the corporate media is doing their jobs for them for free. The Daily Mail is a recent example where they almost literally published a blueprint of how to destroy America through a cyber attack, right here. How a cybersecurity attack would cripple America after a catastrophic crowdsourced glitch. And so they write all about it here, basically how to cripple America through cyber warfare. And they're already trying. Apparently Iran's been trying here recently because they are our enemy at this point, because we've made them so, right? The government has. And so now their cyber groups are actively attacking our most critical infrastructure systems, including water, sewage, and so on. 911 communication systems and all of that too. So since similar warnings were also reported in Congress last week, this information is obviously not seen as a threat to national security, as it is obviously common knowledge. In fact, just type in cyber attack into your favorite news search and you will see that cyber attacks are already a daily occurrence and gaining in frequency, just like I told you. Here are a few examples just within the last couple of days. McLaren confirmed cyber attack across its 13 Michigan hospitals and physician network. For the second time in a year, cyber criminals have attacked McLaren Healthcare's technology platforms. The Grand Blanc-based healthcare system said Wednesday afternoon, confirming the cause of a disruption earlier this week to all 13 of its Michigan hospitals, surgery, infusion, and imaging centers, along with its network of 113,000 medical providers throughout Michigan, Indiana, and Ohio. Think of how many people you could actually harm by doing that. I mean, they've been canceling people's surgical appointments and everything else because of these disruptions. So then we have hacker group responsible for Columbus cyber attack claims 45% of data is published, ransom deadline extended. Major Ginther's office said that as of 4 p.m. Wednesday, they have no evidence that any of the city's data has been published. Yeah, not yet. The hacker group holding the city's data for ransom now claims they've published about 45% of it and is threatening to release more if the city doesn't pay for the ransom by Thursday morning. However, Mayor Andrew Ginther's office said there's no evidence that the data has been published. I mean, we could go on and on. North Miami City Hall remains closed following possible cyber attack. Hackers allegedly steal billions of personal records from Florida's security firm. And then we go here. Iran blamed for a new kind of cyber attack, even though they haven't done anything yet. But they know they have the capability, so it's coming. And of course, there's always the fact that they may just do it as an inside job and cripple America themselves and just blame it on Iran or Russia. I mean, they do that too. So there you go, guys. Not to mention crowdsource and all of that cybersecurity garbage is tied in to the CIA. They're just a CIA front group. And they're providing security for all of these critical infrastructure. I mean, it's just unreal. It's like putting the fox right in the hen house. So there you go. That's what's coming soon too, guys. Prepped up at all times. And then, last but not least, I put this article up from Luis Leros, who guest posts on this site quite often. And today he wrote about this: the U.S. becoming a police state and persecuting its own citizens, which is becoming very, very obvious, especially with what happened to Scott Ritter here this past week. And in the past few weeks, actually. Just his case alone shows you how the U.S. government's out of control. And it continues its violent persecution of all citizens who express opinions contrary to the foreign policy of the White House. Once again, the country's authorities unjustifiably harassed military analyst Scott Ritter, raiding his house under the allegation that Ritter is a foreign agent. Now, apparently, any American citizen who disagrees with the policy of war with Russia is considered a spy by the government, which shows how Washington is becoming an anti-democratic police state. Indeed, they are. And it's just Scott Ritter's arrest and persecution is just I guess you could say, an example of what's coming for all of us. because they got all of us cataloged. They got all of us pinpointed. And at some point, they're going to come shut us all down and probably come for us as well, because we have the gall to stand up here and tell the truth in spite of all of their gaslighting and lies, and they don't like that. So now the FBI and the New York State Police raided Ritter's house in Ethlehem Township, south of Albany. The agents remained inside Scott's house for about 5 hours, collecting materials they considered suspicious. More than 24 boxes were removed from the place by the police containing various items meant for investigation, including several electronic devices. Yes, according to Scott Ritter himself, that's what they were most interested in. Now, the police presented a search and seizure warrant based on the Foreign Agents Restriction Act. In practice, this means that for the American police, Scott Ritter is officially a Russian asset, which is just what they label you so they have a reason to investigate you. Now, these investigations are certainly intended to find some kind of incriminating content that would allow a formal charge of espionage and conspiracy against the American state. It's not the first time Ritter's been attacked by the authorities of his own country. The analyst has already lost his passport and the right to leave the U.S. after the American police forcibly escorted him off a plane when he was about to go to the Russian Federation in June. Ritter had been invited to participate in the St. Petersburg Economic Forum, where he was expected to give a talk on a panel about multipolarity and geopolitics. However, shortly after boarding the plane, American guards confiscated his passport without providing any explanation, which is a serious violation of basic individual rights. And now with the FBI's harassment, Scott's situation's even more complicated. Without a passport, he can't leave the country to seek political asylum in another state. He has to remain on American soil, and as such, he's likely to be increasingly targeted by Washington's authorities, who have become well known for implementing a method similar to psychological torture to coerce citizens who disobey the country's tacit rule of supporting the White House's aggressive foreign policy. I'll put the link up, as always, so you can read the rest for yourselves. But there you go. That sums it up quite well. And the title does too, because the U.S. has become a police state. And it's been persecuting its own citizens for quite some time. And now it's just back in the spotlight again. And that will be it for now. And in case you didn't know it, Don'tSpeakNews.com is home base for everything that we do. If you'd like to subscribe and get notified every time I put up a new post, just hit this tab here and then type in your email here, click on subscribe, and you're in. And the two emails to get in touch with me are don'tspeaknews@protonmail and jstorm2112@yahoo.com. And if you'd like to support us, as we are listener supported only, there's a support tab here. All the links to do so are here. And then also we have YouTube, BitChute, Rumble, and Telegram links underneath this tab here. So these are all the different locations where you can find us. So there you go. Over 2,000 stories now. Wow, that's hard to believe. But we've been going now on this website since, I think, 2018 or 2019. So quite some time now. But there you go. 2,000 plus stories for you to research from right here at Don'tSpeakNews.com. And that's it for now. God bless, take care. Johnny Storm, Don't Speak News.